Obviously, there are issues around online advertising, targeting people unequitably, and racism, integrating into that process. How exactly does this work?
Yeah, so it's great to see you again, Emily, and thank you for having me on the show. Let's just step back for a minute, because bias basically has been prevalent throughout the history of advertising. And I think the industry has a long overdue obligation to address it. And what I have learned in IBM, that AI can help figure out whether or not your advertising is biased towards one community or another, and actually help to address that going further. So we've launched this research study to, rather than guess on the solutions, but basically take a scientific approach to tackling bias in advertising, and in my mind, actually help the brand communicate better with its consumers than it ever has before.
So what exactly can AI do for a company like, let's say, Facebook, which of course has been criticized for only targeting certain kinds of people with its ads?
Yeah, so let's take a brand, okay? If you're advertising towards a particular consumer, let's say to attract a mortgage applicant or whatever it may be, or for them to buy a cup of coffee, you actually start out legacy-wise with segmentation bias already. What AI can do is it actually can look at those results and see whether or not you're actually biased in the results that you're getting and actually not addressing a community that you should be going after. So it's just looking at the data, and it's looking at it systematically, and it's actually rooting out whether or not you are being biased. And now we've used this many, many times in many businesses within IBM to root out biases in mortgage applications and other things like that. So we're just applying it to the advertising industry going forward.
And, artificial intelligence has been an interesting tool that really could shake up the advertising industry, which is a huge industry. How is this changing how people work and how they approach their work?
Yes. So Emily, right, there's been a lot of noise in the marketplace about how Apple and how Google are going to actually use cookies and identifiers going forward. Well, actually, we believe there's a better way, right? We believe that there's no longer the need for these walled gardens, that we believe that we need predictive technologies that will protect consumer privacy, as well as give brands the best way of communicating with their consumer. And through real-time predictive AI, we believe we can get there. Now, I came from this industry and then went to IBM. I have seen these tools in action in other kinds of businesses. And what we're doing through Watson Advertising is to actually take those tools and apply them to the advertising industry. So think about this: optimization in real time versus looking backwards at cookies and trying to predict the future. And that's what we're doing. And where we have applied these tools, we've actually seen a better result of the effectiveness of media dollars.